Okay, so welcome to the deep dive. Today we are going to do a deep dive on something that is absolutely crucial for any entrepreneur out there, especially in 2025. Business systems, building them the right way so they last. We've got a ton of good stuff here straight from pasted text, and we really want to boil this down to the stuff that you can use right now to achieve that really consistent growth and, really just nail the operations of your business.
Yeah, for sure. We're not just talking like general productivity tips here. This is taking the core principles from Atomic Habits and figuring out how it applies to the real stuff that entrepreneurs face right now. AI coming up, all the different online platforms, and oh yeah, the global marketplace, how you get clients and keep them, content creation, and how smoothly your internal stuff runs. We are talking about the nuts and bolts of your business.
Let's break it down. The first big thing that stuck out to me was how important systems are. Not just the goals you set, but like the systems. That quote really hits home. You do not rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems.
Yeah, it makes you think every entrepreneur has these huge goals. Revenue, market share, all that. But a lot of entrepreneurs don't have a good system for the actual work, and that's why they fall short. It's like you can hope that your content goes viral, or you could build a system for good content creation. One is all luck, the other is a process.
Exactly. And it's not like these entrepreneurs with good systems don't have ambitious goals. Think about Alex Hormozy. That guy crushes it. He probably sets big goals, but his day-to-day focus is on the systems, especially with so much competition in 2025. Stuff like how he does video scripts, how he tests ads, the whole client onboarding process. You do all that right, it just gives you a big advantage.
And it's like excellent operations are not just like an extra thing. In 2025, it's going to be a key goal, I think. You got to be able to deliver good value to clients, bring them in efficiently, and adapt to new challenges. That's how you set your business apart from everyone else.
So if you're listening to this, what can you do right now to shift your focus over to systems? Well, there's a pretty simple 4-step system in the text. First, this week, find just one area of your business that isn't doing as well as you want it to. Like your webinars aren't converting into leads, or it's kind of a mess when you onboard new clients. Just pick one thing for now.
Okay, so you've picked your one thing. Here's the important part. Write down how that process works right now. Don't judge it. Just write down each step in the process. Where is there bad communication? What software is giving you headaches? Where are you, the business owner, getting stuck and slowing things down? And for each step, you got to ask, is data being lost? Are things having to be typed in multiple times? Are decisions being delayed because people aren't sure what to do?
Be honest with yourself.
Okay.
Next step, resist that urge to fix everything at once. Just pick the weakest link in that process you wrote down. The one thing that is always messing things up.
Last step. Make one tiny change to your system to fix that weakest link. You don't need to go out and buy a bunch of new software. It's all about a small improvement to one part of the process. Maybe you make a standard email reply for questions that you get all the time, or just add a simple checklist to your project management tool when you are onboarding a client. Just focus on making that one step a little better.
Because at the end of the day, goals are great to have, but systems are what actually get you there. Build good systems, and it'll feel like you're hitting your goals naturally. All right, let's talk about the next takeaway. How important it is to make things easy. This is James Clear's third law from Atomic Habits. Make it easy. Super relevant for entrepreneurs, especially in 2025.
Definitely. The main idea is simple. Design your most important processes so that doing the right thing is easier than doing the wrong thing. Because even the best team can fall apart if there is too much friction in the system. Like if you have to go through a ton of steps just to log a sales call, chances are people aren't going to do it, or they're not going to do it right. Or if your team is collaborating on content, but it's just a bunch of emails back and forth, friction just kills efficiency.
Yeah, and if you look at all these successful tech companies in 2025, a lot of it is because they make things so easy for the user. It's a seamless experience. And we need to apply that to our own businesses. The text mentions a company, Gymshark. When they were first starting to get big, they made it super easy for their team to get customer feedback. It wasn't something they added later. It was just part of how they did things.
So how do we make systems easier in 2025? Well, the text talks about 4 main strategies. The first is what I call ruthless simplification. Look at your marketing and your project checklist. Is there anything you can cut out? Any steps, any clicks, any forms, any meetings that can be shortened or just gotten rid of? Be ruthless. Cut out anything that doesn't absolutely need to be there.
I love that. Ruthless simplification. Next up is using automation the right way. And I don't mean just following the latest AI trends. This is about good tools like Zapier where you can connect all your different online services. And then you can do stuff like send automatic follow-up emails, sync all your customer data, or have your team chat send you notifications for important project milestones. These little automations save a ton of time every single week.
The third thing is centralizing information. A lot of businesses have all their important process info scattered everywhere. Google Docs, Slack, emails, just in people's heads. You got to create a central hub for all that. It could be a Notion workspace, a company wiki, or just a well-organized shared drive. Make it super simple for people to find how to do stuff.
The last piece of this puzzle is to become a master of your tools, or delegate that to someone else. A lot of times the easiest way to improve things is to just really learn all the ins and outs of the software that you already have. Programs like Asana, HubSpot, or ClickUp, they all have tons of features, templates, custom workflows, integrations. It can all really help reduce all that daily friction. If you don't have time to learn all that yourself, find someone on your team who does.
The main takeaway here is this. Don't blame yourself for not being disciplined enough. Design your systems so they're easy to follow. When you do that, being consistent becomes so much easier.
Okay, next principle. You have to design your environment so you actually want to do this stuff. This goes way beyond a clean desk. You have to shape your physical space, and this is especially important in 2025, your digital space, so they are always pushing you towards the right actions. It's kind of like setting the stage for your systems to run smoothly.
For sure. And, in 2025, it's all those digital distractions that are the biggest problem. Like, if you open your laptop and the first thing you see is social media, that makes it way harder to focus on reviewing your systems. Or you are trying to really focus on improving your systems, but your phone keeps buzzing with notifications. You can't get anything done. The text talks about Tim Ferriss. That guy is super productive, and he really puts a lot of effort into designing his environment to help him focus.
So how do entrepreneurs in 2025 build their own focus fields? The text talks about 4 practical things you can do. First, digital defaults. What opens up automatically when you start your computer? It should be stuff like your project management dashboard, your CRM overview, or your financials. Not email or social media. Make your business systems the first thing you see every day.
Second, you got to minimize decision fatigue. That's when your brain is just fried from making too many decisions, and you can't even make simple choices anymore. It makes it way harder to do system tasks. So prepare everything beforehand. Like, if you know you need to record a video tomorrow, set up your camera and lighting today. If you're going to be contacting leads, have the list ready to go and the email templates prepped. The less effort it takes to start something, the more likely you are to actually do it.
This next one is so simple, but it works. Visual cues. And they can be digital, too. Have clear bookmarks for all your important system tools. Use digital sticky notes on your desktop for your top 3 system tasks for the day. Even just changing your phone wallpaper to something that reminds you about an important metric can be a good prompt to stay focused.
Lastly, create separate digital zones. You know how most browsers let you create multiple profiles? So you can have one profile just for focused work and block all the distracting websites like social media and news, then have another one for research and another one for personal stuff. It makes a big difference when you have separate spaces for work and play.
Remember, your environment is always influencing you, even if you don't realize it. You got to take control and shape your digital and physical spaces so they are pushing you to do the right things and helping you avoid distractions. This is how you win in 2025.
All right, last takeaway, and it's about how to actually start and then stick with important business systems. This can be tough, especially when it's something big like a website redesign or a whole marketing plan. This is where James Clear's 2-minute rule comes in. It says, when you start a new habit or a system task, it should take less than 2 minutes to do.
I know it sounds way too simple, right? But it really works for entrepreneurs in 2025. The text says that consistency is more important than intensity, especially for these big, complex systems that are always changing. Even these little 2-minute starts help you build momentum and keep your systems from being neglected.
There are people who seem to get so much done, like Gary Vaynerchuk. I bet he doesn't do it with these huge bursts of effort. Probably all about small, consistent actions. The text even suggests that his team might use the 2-minute rule, like just quickly checking the comments on TikTok to see what's trending instead of instantly trying to come up with a whole content strategy.
Okay, so how do we actually use the 2-minute rule in 2025? Well, first, break down those system tasks. When you see a task that looks huge, like update financial projections, the 2-minute version is open the spreadsheet. If it's document client reporting workflow, it's make a new Google Doc and name it client reporting. It's like tricking your brain into thinking it's no big deal. Once you start, it's much easier to keep going.
Next, You got to schedule these 2-minute tasks. Don't just wait around for motivation to strike. Put these little system tasks on your calendar, like block out 2 minutes, review ad spend every morning, or connect it to something you already do. After my daily team meeting, I will spend 2 minutes outlining the next process improvement.
The third thing is to master the starting point. Make it like a ritual that tells your brain it's time to do the bigger task. The goal is to make that first 2-minute action automatic. And even if you don't keep working on it right away, consider that 2 minutes a victory. You just did the hard part, which is starting.
And the 2-minute rule even works for learning new stuff for your systems. Like, if you need to learn a new platform, you can start by watching the first 2 minutes of the tutorial. Makes it a lot less scary to get started.
So stop waiting for some magical day when you have a ton of free time to work on your business systems. It's all about these little 2-minute starts. You'll be shocked at how much progress you can make.
So to sum it all up for the 2025 entrepreneur, we took pasted text and atomic habits and pulled out the most important things for you. First, focus on making your business systems better, not just on setting ambitious goals. Second, design your processes so they are super easy to follow. Third, design your digital and physical spaces so they push you in the right direction. Lastly, use the 2-minute rule to get things started and keep that momentum going.
So which one of these things is speaking to you the most right now? What can you actually do this week to make a change? Will you finally deal with that process that's been giving you headaches? Will you try and get rid of some of the friction points in your business? Maybe you'll spend some time making your digital workspace better. Or maybe you'll just pick one tiny little task to get started. Think about these questions and remember, even small changes to your systems can lead to big, consistent results in 2025.
Think about this too. How can you use these atomic habits ideas outside of your business, like for personal stuff that also affects your business? Think about continuous learning, networking, or just taking care of yourself. These basic ideas can really improve all areas of your life. Pick one and make it happen.
Seriously, tell us in the comments below what you're going to do. We want to know. And honestly, it helps to make it public. It makes you more accountable.
Plus, it might inspire someone else who's listening.
And if you found this deep dive into atomic habits helpful, please hit that like button. It helps other people find this content, and it lets us know what kind of stuff you find valuable.
We appreciate your feedback. It helps us create content that's actually useful for you.
And if you want to make sure you don't miss our next deep dive, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell. We're constantly digging into the best business and self-help books out there and finding the stuff that's actually going to help you succeed in 2025.
We have a lot more great stuff coming your way.
Thanks for joining us today. Now go out there and build those systems.
We'll see you next time.
Bye, everyone.